Jihad of a Sufi life in the times of terrorism. Jihad, Sufism, and terrorism. Sounds scary, right? But don't worry, take it easy, just relax. This is less about Jihad or Sufism or terrorism. This talk is more about stories that I'm going to tell some untold stories. As you all know, Jihad means holy war, and Sufism means Muslim sainthood practice. In other terms, Sufism is a kind of yoga-related practice in Hinduism, and of course, I'm going to explain a little bit about Jihad later. But what happens in my story is that these two terms take on a different meaning and definition. Let me take you to my small village. As you all know, the world is small. The world is a global village, right? But what I would say is that my small village is the world. And you see the map from Philadelphia to my hometown. Actually, it's not that far, right? It's just 8,181 miles. It's a small place. And then I have my house, with this very small house, in between one Sufi shrine, one Hindu temple, one mosque, and then to complicate it further, there is also a Christian church nearby. On Thursday, I go to the Sufi shrine and return home and tell my mom, Amma, I love this Sufi so much. On Friday, I go to Muslim mosque just to declare that there is no God but Allah. And on Saturday, I go to Hindu temple and return singing devotional songs with my terrible voice. You can feel it from every song. And on Sunday, my friend Christopher would never fail to take me to his church. And after worship services, I return home and tell my mom, Jesus is my Savior. But today I need to confess one thing. I love food so much. When you go to these sacred sites, they share great food, right? And then I tell my mom, these days, Mom, I love spirituality so much. And then she would respond, that's fine, but today I'm really happy that you are not talking just about food, but also about God. So what I'm going to tell from this village is a small place that teaches a big lesson. The value of sharing food. That is where spirituality begins. And then it extends to sharing stories, rituals, and life experiences. People share so many things along with spiritual practices. So what happened when I was a kid, I just tried to worship food rather than God. But of course, I used to try to keep little space in my belly for spirituality too. So there is a journey I am making from the sacred food to spirituality, which is very important in the context of a small place. Now, the question is, what faith are you when you grow up in a multicultural, multi-religious community? That question made me travel to 200 Sufi shrines and 300 villages in India. Wherever I go, I see people worshipping Muslim saints and following Sufi principles. What makes these people worship a Muslim saint? What makes these people follow a Sufi idea? That's a big question. Because you know, in this world of terrorism, we all have these stereotypes of Islam, Jihad, and Sufism, which are actually often equated to killing the people. Rather than killing the people, these people share love and compassion. That is the first lesson I learned from my small village. And then when I traveled to all these sacred shrines, this is the shrine where I did my field research. You can see there is a mosque, and then next to it there is Hindu temple. So there is just one wall in between these two big religions in South Asia. And following my research and all the conversations that I did with the people there, I published a book titled The Festival of Peers. Peer means saint in my local culture. So this is one image I took from my field research, two women, Muslim women and non-Muslim women sharing food. At the shrine, when we talk to each other and share our sacred food, we don't even care about what we are, where we are from, what is our tradition or anything. We just care about our wish and we care for each other. That is one of the big lessons I learned from these shrines and the shrine culture. Now, let us move on to the idea of Sufism. There are two modes of Sufism. One is mystical Sufism guided by complicated texts, high-level teaching, and esoteric sainthood practices. But that is not the story I am going to narrate today. My story is about everyday Sufism, where people talk about down-to-earth concerns, everyday life, and human interactions. But most important is a challenge social hierarchies using Sufism as a tool of resistance. So, at the University of Pennsylvania, I teach courses on the intersections of Islam and Hinduism. Whenever I talk about intersections, my students get confused, because when they come to the class, they already tuned to this idea that Hinduism and Islam are like two boxes. They never overlap. They have thick boundary walls. But what I try to explain is that boundaries are overlapping. There are no borders between these two religions. People always negotiate with two religions, multiple identities at the same time. This is one piece from the conversation during my field research, which talks about respecting the difference, respecting the other religions. When you know the differences, you also understand similarities and you understand each other better. After all, it is not about showing the difference, but you learn to respect and love each other more. This was a statement given by a non-Muslim Hindu devotee who was visiting a Sufi shrine in South India. I told you, right? I'm going to tell the stories. This is a story about a singer, a non-Muslim singer who, on the first day of Islamic calendar, performs a Sufi music and dance concert in his village. This performance is very popular. This goes for 10 days, and then actually I just started translating this narrative poem that runs to 10 days. And then during the conversation and in the song, he mentioned the term Jihad. I was shocked. How do you know this term? I asked him. Because you know, this term is a trouble spot, very controversial due to the media that surrounded us. It's like so many meanings, but the most popular meaning is that Jihad means killing each other, killing people, killing innocent people, and then a lot of violence. So that is the Talibanization of Jihad, right? That is the meaning we got from the Talibans who created a misreading of Jihad. But what happened in the context of this village, in the long poem that he narrated to me, my love is my jihad, my compassion is my jihad. Here is my jihad, your jihad too. I strive to kill that ugly bad self that persists within me. You should kill yours too. Rather than killing each other and finding coffins for each other, let us lift our goodness to its greatest heights. We love, we live, and we follow the footsteps of our saint, whom we all love. So see how the message changes when you go to your local level, go to a small place. While in global Islam and global Sufi context, you hear all the time the meaning of jihad in different terms, right? Now it is becoming something that is connected to love, kindness, compassion, and the friendship between communities. So that is the most important lesson I got from these small places. And then I asked him, do you know the meaning of jihad? I asked this performer to explain me a little bit about this idea of jihad, which is holy war, right? And then he said, I don't know anything about Islam. I just know about my pir, my saint. I learned it from my ancestors, and it is their knowledge, not mine. So that knowledge, where is this coming from? That is coming from the community that is committed to love and compassion, not killing each other. That is the message they got from their local Sufi saint. So that also redefines the idea of jihad. But the most important thing for us in today's world is that when there is a desire for equality in a social system, there is a revolution in the way people start thinking about hierarchies. So most of this poetry, stories, life experiences they basically challenge the idea of hierarchy. They challenge stereotypical notions of religion and the established misreadings of spiritual terms. This person has no knowledge about any religion or to say about Islam, but his knowledge is coming from his community, his family, and then he is using this narrative knowledge to define his spiritual life. So what is happening? There is something wrong in our learning process itself. So these experiences teach us that we start to unlearn something. We need to go back to the original meanings rather than the misreadings. And then try to interpret them, follow them in their real spirit. So with these experiences of oral poetry from my field research, I am going to publish a collection of oral poems, Evening with a Sufi. This is going to come out this year. And then, going back to the idea of jihad, so in this context, look at this innocent kid. They learn about Sufism right from their childhood. And then, in their world, jihad means not holy war. Jihad means more an ethical responsibility. And then that actually, they don't know anything about Prophet Muhammad. But that actually goes back to what Prophet himself defined jihad. Holy is the warrior who is at war with himself, not with the people, not with the communities. See how people are going closer to the actual meanings, right? That is such a big process. That is my question finally. In this picture is a Sufi shrine where devotees and pilgrims, despite their different religious backgrounds, visit this shrine and then pay tributes to the values taught by the local saint. My question finally is, if an ordinary person in a small village can easily resolve such religious conflicts and reconcile different faiths in a highly reflective and peaceful way, why can't we do the same? Thank you so much.